What up, though, y'all? How you living? Happy Labor Day. You know, this whole thing with Trump and the National Guard and violence in our cities and states, it's not something I would normally speak on, but I'm going to go ahead and speak on it today. But before I speak on it, let's watch and see what's going on.
Juan-o's where
my baby mama trip, she been going through my phone. Tired of me cheating, I can't leave these up alone. Hella pics, hella tips on my
shootings hit South LA over the weekend. 10 people have been shot. 2 people have been killed.
10 people shot. And I'm guaranteeing most of them people are black and brown. Let's go.
They all happened within a few miles of each other. Mario's live at the latest shooting that happened at Century in Maine. Mario.
Brooke, the ongoing violence leaving residents here on edge. 3 shootings, as you mentioned, separate incidents within
3 separate shooting incidences.
Miles of each other in the span of 4 days.
Shooting broke out in South LA overnight, just hours after another one happened about a mile away.
KCAL News reporter Tia Patel is joining us live from that scene with what we know about both incidents. Tia?
Well, police are not saying yet if these 2 shootings might be connected, but they are certainly concerned about all of the violence happening.
Well, we know it's connected. It's all connected to the malarkey that's going on. It's all connected to this BS mentality that has taken over America.
From the Broadway, Manchester neighborhood of South LA, at least one person is dead, another injured in what police believe is a gang-related shooting. The investigation is happening near Century and...
Now, I can't help but wonder, because you got the mayor of LA, all the residents of LA, or the fake residents, they so worried about the migrant crisis, but they're not worried about the killing, robbing, and stealing that's going on amongst themselves. Is that true? Or is that just what they're showing us on the news?
Here with CBS News Chicago, I'm Marie Saavedra. We begin with a breaking news update on what was a violent night for Chicago police. 5 women and 2 men were hurt in a mass shooting that was
5 women.
Right outside of police headquarters.
Outside of police headquarters. Now look, my staff just put a couple of clips together of this, but please believe they could have went way deeper. Because over the last month, I heard so much about shootings and more than one person being shot at the same time in the same place, I can't even remember them all.
He explains that wasn't the only incident.
A mass shooting happened right across the street from the Chicago Police Department headquarters parking lot. The cleanup process is now underway. The city's street sweepers clean up a mess that resulted in several people shot. Fire crews also called out to clean.
You know what? We ain't got to play no more stories. We ain't got to look at the news no more. Just go and let me go and give you my opinion. This is malarkey. This is the highest caliber of horse manure I've ever seen on the city streets. Now, let's take my city, for example, Detroit. Now, I own property in Detroit for the past, 20 years. And some of the unnecessary things that were going on, some violent, made me have to part with some of that property. They already drug me down in every way possible. And now we're talking about high taxes and high insurance on blocks where I can't even safely rent the house out not because it looked bad, but because the attitude of maybe 1 or 2 houses on a street that has 25 houses is horrible. And them 1 or 2 houses ruin it for the other 24 houses on the block. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. As a black man, I'm absolutely tired of nigga shit. I'm tired of nigga shit. As a black man that has invested his money, I want to reap the benefits of my investment, not have every investment I make ruined by nigga shit. Now, I know a lot of these white liberals that's able to protect the value of their zip code with all of this violence going on because in their neighborhood or in their little area of the city, nobody is selling. Not only is nobody is selling, you can't get in there. They have their own slightly, because it's part of the DPD, but they have their own part of the DPD for just that area, on top of their own private security, which is a good idea. But you know you have these things. You know your neighbor is a judge. So you know the judge's kids leave this neighborhood, and so do your kids, and come over to where I live at across the street and do dirt. We tired of it. We tired of the killing. We tired of not being able to have our kids at the park. And if it takes for the National Guard to come in and arrest some of these gangbangers or some of these ninjas, then why not? Because what's going to keep happening is you're going to keep having nigga activity ruining black life. But when the other races look at us, they're all black. They're not telling the difference between the niggas and the black people. No different in some of these white areas where you see these mass shootings at. You can't just say, oh, well, this is good white folk and this is white trash. You can't just roll through Southwest Detroit and say, hey, these are good Mexican Americans and these are cartel people. You don't know. And for you to do that would be racist, but you better believe the people that live in them neighborhoods, the Mexicans know who good and who bad, the same way as blacks know who good and who bad, the same way the whites know who good and who bad. And you might as well send a National Guard in that motherfucker to make a difference, because what we paying for taxes and insurance is ridiculous. Chicago on their way to bankruptcy, and they don't even own their roads or their parking or a lot of their bridges. You know what that's gonna mean for that city? That mean they're not gonna have shit. I know some of y'all, Detroit went bankrupt too. Detroit went bankrupt, but we owned everything. So, big difference. Big difference. We're coming out of bankruptcy and going through it, because you already own your parks. You already own your roads. You already own your highways. You already own all these things. So, you got assets instead of liabilities or debts from selling off assets like Chicago. I don't want to see the National Guard coming to my city, but more than that, I don't want to see kids getting killed. I don't like the fact that kids can't play at parks. And what type of black person would see all of these mass shootings of black people killing black people and not say we have a problem? Who would put that problem in front of illegal migrants? So it's like you want illegal migrants and you want niggas to have free reign to kill black people too? Come on now. And this is what turns me off with the DL Hugleys and the this and the that. You could be a Democrat all day. You could hate Trump all day. But for you to be from LA and not want to admit that niggas got a problem with killing unarmed black people, that's a problem. If you can't admit that black people got the right to carry guns and should be carrying guns because they dealing with too much nigga shit, you a part of the problem. And if your democratic beliefs help you look past the strife of a black person and what it's like to be black, and you making 6 figures a year, and you want to stay in your community, you want to renovate your house in your community, you know there's white people moving a street away from your community and creating value over there. Why wouldn't you want to stay in your $30,000 house that really should be worth $100 that's about to be worth $200? Why wouldn't you? It's brick. It been here all these years, a lot longer than the suburbs. That sounds like a sound investment to me. You don't think it's strategic that they using crime to run us out of neighborhoods that poverty kept us in for the past 50 or 60 years? Now that value is coming back, you don't see that as a problem? You don't see that as a scam? And they got you as a leader of the people. This is bullshit. Yeah, I voted for Trump. Now, I don't support everything he do, but I voted for him because he was supporting some things that I wanted. And I want to see change. I don't want to see a bunch of niggas in jail, but at the same time, I see a bunch of niggas signing up for jail. It's so many niggas signing up for jail, my 14-year-old think that's a viable life option. You hear me? It's so many niggas getting checks for nothing, getting away with nothing. Look at Big U. He lived high on the hog for 20 years, famous. And he just not about to go to jail a little bit before he die. So when these kids looking at how we feed these niggas, don't think they ain't looking at being a black person like it's a obligation that they don't want. Because these niggas getting away with everything. Now, what am I to say? I'm a father and a property owner more. And I live on this, I moved my family out here to a block where it's only 2 other black people over here. Is that cool for my daughters? I mean, it's cool for my sons, but I don't want my daughters to look around and only see males that's not black when they get to date. Y'all robbing my motherfucking family. Y'all robbing my legacy. You see how dark I am? You think I want a light-skinned grandchild, nigga? I don't. And that ain't colorism. It's just I want to see me. I don't want a mixed baby. My kids got good hair as 100% black. And I want to keep that going. And with that being said, there's no way I can solidify my goals while allowing you niggas to run around fucking up shit for everybody. I just can't. I already had to overpay for this house just to get out the hood. What kind of shit is that? Am I gonna get that 70, 80 grand back? Probably not. Probably not. And that's how it's so hard for black people to get ahead. Because if you beat the white people system, you still gonna get robbed by the nigga system. And then you got the white liberals telling you that you wrong or voting against your prosperity because they make good money off of keeping nigga shit in circulation. Because please believe, it's rare occurrences when nigga shit show up on white people's door. But if you black and successful, nigga shit gonna show up on your door all the time, even if you ain't in proximity to it. And that's the problem. You know, you got your D.L. Hugleys and them liberals. D.L. Hughley live in Calabasas. Yeah, that's in L.A., but they got their own police force. You can't even get in Calabasas. So all of this shit he talk about, he don't have to deal with it at all. He record his radio station from home. He flies in the States, do comedy shows, flies right out of them bitches after he cheat on his wife. He don't have to deal with none of the shit that he's creating the atmosphere for us to deal with. So listening to him about some shit that he ain't got to deal with at all is asinine. On top of the fact, I have a problem listening to men that don't protect their family. You know, all our kids grow up and make their own choices once they hit 14, 15. So a kid being wayward, you can't really knock them for that. But when you're talking about a kid with a father being abandoned for one of the father's friends to touch, and that friend's still alive, and you want me to follow this man like he gonna lead me to be better with my family, I can't do that. I can't do that. Somebody touch my kids, I don't give a fuck how they got around them. Somebody touch my kids, they're dead. Done. Finito. If the law don't get them first. And then I still might have them killed in jail. And that's what's law. Not, oh, let people do whatever and then cry about it on my radio show later. Fuck that. Fuck that. And I ain't just a black man. I'm an American. And I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of white people doing mass shootings. We know what white folks call them. I'm sick of undocumented creating accidents. If I was involved, I got a CDL license. If I had an accident like that, I'd have never got bail. If I had an accident like that, my house would be, they could take my house. There's so many things that they could do to me as an American with a CDL license if I did some shit like bust a U-turn at a turnpike and kill 3 people. It's not funny. But your D.L. Hugleys will tell you it's fair for my house to be taken in that situation and this guy to get a bail. I would have never saw bail. Facts. Think about that. Chew on that. And this don't matter if you're black or white, because we all taking the proverbial dick in the ass right now. And being non-homosexual, I'm against that. I'm against that. We need to tighten it up. And if he got to send the National Guards in to bust heads, by all means, bust heads, because I'm tired of hearing 300, 400, 500 murders in all of these black cities. Make no mistake about it. It's all kind of violence going down in Oklahoma and Montana and this, that, or whatever. Please believe it. But that's not making the news. All they promoting is where we at and what's going on with where we at to make it seem like it's okay, and it is not. We out.